Welcome to Chess Club of Cobb, our Saturday session, starting with a beautiful study composed by a Belgian guy.
Is it Oiway?
Weenink.
Oiway was the Belgian world champion for a few years.
Oh, Max Arwe, whatever you pronounce it in English, we say Ewe, but it's Arwe.
I think he was Belgian, wasn't he? Or Dutch?
He was the Dutch.
Dutch.
And it's the same. This guy seems to be a Flemish.
Flemish
So
Dutch.
that's the same thing. So he was a good player too. In an Amsterdam tournament in 1931, he won, I think, with Max Arwe and Spielmann, who was another awesome guy. He won that tournament, so he was good as a chess player as well as a composer of chess studies. Sadly, he died early because of tuberculosis, how do you say that? So this is a beautiful study, and that's what I try to do most of the time. In order to improve, we need to study simple positions, basically.
Apparently simple.
Apparently simple, that's a good one. Because all subtleties, all the beauty of chess can be expressed in those apparently simple positions. Former world champion Vasya Smyslov learned chess well because his dad would show him those simple positions. So he got familiar with those, and he learned those most important principles in chess through simple endgame positions. Usually people study openings, and while that's important, of course, you don't want to get crushed in 10 moves, but endgames are much more important for your understanding of the game and for your improvement. That reminds me, endgame, right? So people don't like playing endgames, basically. That's how I feel. Maybe I'm wrong, but everybody's about opening. I think that it's much more productive to study endgames. Not necessarily those technical positions that maybe sometimes dry, so to speak, but the chess studies, the compositions, those are really bringing a beauty to us. So we should enjoy endgame, playing endgames. And that reminds me of Samuel Beckett, a famous playwright. He wrote a one-act play called Endgame. And what it's all about is that everything inevitably coming to an end in life or in a chess game. Right? But the point Samuel Beckett wanted to pass is that we need to enjoy the endgame of life, the endgame on the chessboard as well. We shouldn't simply discard and not to study, because we can learn a lot. So here in this position, Weenink study from 1917, Great World War still raging in Europe. So this is a starting position, actually, with pawn on a6. So we see that passed pawn is a white trump. and black wants to stop it from queening. That's what's going on. That's what we see. But let's see what black can do to stop the pawn, if any. And basically it's about communication. That's why I wanted to present you this position today, because it shows up clearly the importance of open lines of communication. As you know, chess is all about power and restraint on that power, right? Checking the power, restricting it. We need to open up lines when we attack or when we want to move our troops to certain parts of the front. So that's what we want to do. And we also want to put restriction on the other side to close lines of communication to them so they cannot exert power and influence on the board and to reduce their mobility. So it's all about activity and mobility. Think any sports, it's all about that. Mobility and activity. American football, right? You want to block those guys if they are attacking, right? If we attack, we want to open lines. We want to open lines to that wide receiver, right? So that's the thing. So here, this is a starting position. What comes to mind is, after that first obvious move on white side, so there are two lines of communication we may use to try to get control of the situation, stop that pawn from queening. This doesn't work, of course, right? Because king is controlling a5. So it looks, this is the move. But we saw during pre-game discussion, this is a move that appears to be winning. Because if rook takes, it's deflected from control of winning square, right? If king moves, then bishop closes the line. That's the point. That's the theme of our today's session. Closing the line for the rook. So rook still controls that back rank up to here. Here its powers are no more. By the way, this is also some tactics. This is some tactics. 3-point setup. How do we call that? Skewer, right? So what we are familiar with is a 3 pieces set up on a line, right? But not necessarily 3 pieces. Could be 2 pieces in the square, because this is an important square that closes the line for the rook to stop the pawn from winning. That's a skewer, like that barbecue term used in chess. Skewer, right? So rook move doesn't work because of that, right? Because of this move.
Right.
So what else can black do?
Just to check it.
To check. What else, right? It's most forcing move in chess, so white king must get out of fire. Or go up on the third or That's what we will do quite instinctively, right? To go up, right?
Yeah.
And try to support maybe that pawn
But it
and
doesn't
the
work.
queen. But if you do that, then the
That's
previous
good.
idea seems to be working now, because if bishop moves to g1, now we can take with check,
Check. And then go back.
and then next move we stop the pawn, right? So it turns out that king cannot go up.
Can't go down either.
It's a sort of a barrier, right, for the king. Can't cross that third rank. Now the question is what white can do. Can go up. It turns out cannot go toward, say, I don't know, toward the rook, because rook then
Comes in there.
comes to a5 and stops the pawn. So king must control those entry points on a5. And it looks like it's a perpetual. It looks like a perpetual check, which means a draw, right? So we can't play this. White plays this to still control a5. We check again. Will it last forever? Or white can do something?
What about rook, bishop to e1?
Why would we do that?
Just sacrificing.
Just sacrifice it, move the rook where it can't do much.
Hmm.
What difference does it make?
Well, then the pawn, next move, pawn crowns.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Let's see what
It takes.
Ed is saying.
Check.
All right.
Oh, I see. You can check again now.
Hmm.
Nice. And he wins.
So it looks without bishop it's kind of easier, but rook is also put aside.
It's not so helpful.
Yeah, so now it looks it works. White is winning. Yeah. Ed, you were right. That's exactly it. And now no more checks. And this guy's queen. He's good, man. That's exactly what. Let's take a look again.
That's what white can do.
Let's try again, just to see what happened. So with this move, again closing the line. Again closing the line.
Yeah.
See how that is important, right? Closing the line again. Basically, it's a closing of the line. And they call it like also interference, like from left, right? But the point with this move, and not when a check was on the second, is that when rook moves, is driven off on the e5, it turns out that now black's king is interfering the rook, not to be able to reach the back rank. So that's the thing. So if it takes here, then it's still open. F1 would be open to control.
I suppose he doesn't take though, then what?
So if say now black instead of taking tries, it doesn't work because again this is a move, right?
Yeah.
So it must take. So if it takes, we see that Now, king, like I said before, interfering.
Yeah.
So every move in chess, we must be aware of that fact. They don't teach us that. They just teach us individual moves when we start learning chess. But closing and opening lines, that's something we do all the time without being aware of it. Every time we make a move, we open lines. Every time we reach a square, we close 4 lines, right? And that's something that we need to acquire to become a matter of instinct. Because all the battle is about communication lines to be used by our troops against the enemy, and to close the lines of communication to the enemy to be able to attack us.
So white wins.
White wins. That's why Napoleon famously said, chess is communications.
Most people would
War
say
is communication.
most people would say it's a draw.
Yeah, I mean, now, like we saw in just few checks, and that's it. No more checks. And white is winning. So I hope you liked this piece of beauty.